He's gonna tell us where to look.
Right, well, back to Fog Entertainment, and we're here to review Season 2 of Prison Break. And holy moly, what a season of Prison Break this is. In my opinion, the last fucking, like, you know, great season, like, proper great, not like a 6 out of 10, that the rest of them after this probably were like a 6, 7. Because to me, Season 1's that good. In Season 2, like, I feel like with Season 1 they couldn't have done it much better. I think with Season 2, you can argue that, but I feel like there's some stuff they could have done better. Like with Abruzzi, I feel like they did kill him off far too early. I've said this ever since I watched the show. But obviously that was more to do with the actor. And I feel like they could have done other stuff. You know, like I feel like there were certain instances where people got caught and it was a wee bit cheap. You know, but overall I thought it was done really well. I really loved the whole, I mean, we'll dive into it, but I really loved the whole aspect of like everyone getting reunited in the hunt for DP Cooper's money. But anyway, we'll dive into it. So we kick off this season, guys. Obviously, we're on the run. We just have Lincoln, Michael, Abruzzi, Cenote, and Sucre at this stage. Obviously, Tweener and Haywire have gone their separate ways, and Teabag is trying to survive with one hand. But he's managed to get it in a cooler box, and then he gets it reattached via a FET, which was pretty funny on itself. All that, but I mean, again, it's like Teabag is such a bastard, but I love the guy. I think he's like, I think he is the best character on the show, and honestly, like in terms of like a top 10 list characters of all time, I think he's got to be on. I think he's just this fucking comedy alone this season. You know, it's fucking it's like unmatched, but. Like, this fat guy, he just doesn't need to kill him. Like, why couldn't he have just tied him up? You know, and I guess people could say, oh, well, if someone came, then the guy could say, oh, he stole my car and my identity, this, that, and the fourth. I get that, right? And I guess a guy in Teabag's position, again, and he's a scumbag, he's always going to kill this guy rather than take that chance. But, you know, it's just stuff like, this guy, I don't think he needed necessarily to kill him. And then it's also like, he kills this guy. He kills the woman in the post office, but yet in season 5 he gets out after like 7 years. How does that make any sense? Like, I've only watched the show once, and I'm watching, like, rewatching it, so once I finish it'll be twice. But how does he get out in season 5? Like, so he killed and raped a bunch of teenagers. Look at all the stuff he's did on the run in this season, and yet he gets out after 7 years. I'll need to pay attention to that season 5 premiere just to fucking understand like what they actually say. Is it a technicality? I don't know, guys. Meanwhile, though, Lincoln, Michael, basically they get the rest of the group supplies and shit. They dig up the graves, but they quickly realise that this new agent we get introduced to Mahone, great character, he's on to them. And then basically we get Sucre, Cenote, and Abruzzi, all three of them going their separate ways. We'll cover Abruzzi right now. Obviously, Abruzzi dies pretty early on, but he basically gets lured out by Fibonacci. And his death was brilliant. I really liked it, you know. I mean, I think it is a bit amateurish the way he did go out. Like it was so obvious it was a trap, but yet he just fell for it. But at the same time, he was like obsessed with Fibonacci, so I can kind of let that slide, you know. Sucre's whole gimmick is that he's trying to get to the wedding, which of course he does. And then Cenote's whole gimmick is that he's going to meet with his family, but that's after the Utah money. Meanwhile, Tweener, Cenote, and the brothers are in Utah. They managed to escape, well, the brothers managed to escape Roy and Bellick. Of course, Bellick gets fired, but to turn the gun on himself, but he couldn't even do that, which was pretty funny. Pope's gone for his job as well. It's like Fox River just falls apart. We obviously do get a few scenes with Fox River, like when Bellick goes back to jail, but we'll get to that soon enough. But yeah, I really loved the whole gimmick of them being back. I know, like working together in Utah, and then obviously they get reunited with Sucre and Cenote, because it just reminded me of the break room and all that in season 1, you know. But I thought that was all brilliant. It didn't feel forced, because it makes sense for all these guys wanting to go and get 5 million, you know. And no one, like, I don't think anyone could ever say it felt forced. You know, I would have liked the Brutesy and the mob maybe fighting about this and them showing up or something. And that's the only thing I will say about this whole fight. I didn't really like the fact that they jobbed it like Cenote. Sucre pretends to steal the money so him, Michael, and Link can split it. And then it turns out Teabag outsmarted them and he just put books in the bag. I mean, that's kind of a wee bit pish that Michael's that smart, but Teabag just fucking switched the books out with the money and then he was managed to steal it, which is funny. Meanwhile, though, Bellic and Roy, they managed to track down Teabag, who went back to Susan's house, but she is no longer there, and they basically torture him, and then they get the money, and then Roy jobs out Bellic. Meanwhile, during all the Utah shit, Tweener got killed. I thought this was really good, the way he got killed. Didn't want him to die, but I feel like with Abruzzi, they did kill him far too early, but I feel like with Tweener, it wasn't. It felt just about right. If that's right, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I thought that was a bit weak with the whole money situation, but and then like the next episode, like the Teabag does escape, and then you basically get like Sucre trapped under a log, and yes, this was sad, but I remember watching this and never really thought, fuck, Sucre is going to die here. Also, Cenote manages to escape and gets his whole family out of the school, but obviously shit hits the fan for Cenote later on in the season. But basically, we head back with the brothers, and Michael's plans are basically becoming unravelled because Mahone is so up his ass. Lincoln and LJ get caught, but then their dad basically frees them with the help of the woman who I can't remember her fucking name at this stage, and then basically, yeah. Then the whole Bullshaw booze hangs. Mahone manages to figure it out. He kills Aldo Burrows in the process of all this, which I didn't like. Well, not that I didn't like Aldo Burrows. It was just he just gets shot and that's it. You know, it's like as soon as Michael meets him, I feel like this could have been done better. To be honest, Sucre escapes in the plane, but Michael and Lincoln stay behind to try and get Sarah and Mahone, etc. But then Mahone takes them out, and they both end up in the custody. Meanwhile, during all this, we had Kellerman like torturing Sarah, but blah blah blah. Good night, and befriending her with pie. But Sucre manages to escape, and he manages to end up in Mexico, but can he get to Monte Cruz? Meanwhile, Kellerman saves the brothers from Mahone and shoots him. I remember watching this the first time and actually thought he had killed Mahone here. But it turns out, obviously, he hadn't. He survives. Then we basically get Kellerman with the brothers on the run. They manage to get Stedman. You kind of feel like the company's falling apart here, but then Stedman ends up killing himself. They manage to escape. Then they basically did a whole live TV shit. Oh, but it turns out we're actually bullshitting here. So that's all good. In the hood. That, and the fourth, that basically distracts them. And then they manage to team up with Sarah, but she's obviously not happy that they're teaming up with Kellerman. They get to Chicago. They get to the president. It's mad that they dragged this over a couple of episodes, because me explaining here doesn't really seem like they did. Basically, yeah, they try and like use the leverage with the president, and she agrees to exonerate them, but then she's like, no, and basically goes back on her word at the last minute, which is pretty sick. Meanwhile, during all this, Sucre and Monte Cruz managed to reunite Mexico and then go live with, I think it's his aunt in Mexico. But Bellic is on the case. Bellic's out of jail after getting framed for Gary's death, which Teabag shafted him for, which I thought was brilliant. Also, we get the whole Teabag like trying to live with Susan and the kids. Oh, brilliant. Oh, that is just fucking unreal, man. I can't do it justice. If you haven't watched it, then what the fuck are you doing watching this? But honestly, then we get the stuff with Cenote and his family. Like, his wife gets arrested, then it's just him like left with his daughter, and then you basically get like Mahone chasing after him. And I really felt for Cenote here. It was like, this was not what I really loved about this season. Everyone in the Fox River 8 were given like proper screen time, you know. Like, obviously I wanted Abruzzi to last longer, but it was still a good ending to the character. Like, he should have lasted longer, but it was still a good ending, you know. Haywire, he didn't get a lot of screen time, but then again, why would you waste so much on him? And I felt like his demise was brilliant, the way he jumped off after Bellic got out and was taunting him, and then Mahone basically, you know, not taunting him into doing it, but made it easier for Haywire to jump. But the whole Cenote stuff, he gives himself up. He says that he'll get Michael and Lincoln, but will he? And then obviously we get the whole stuff with they've already got Michael and Lincoln, and then basically Mahone says that Cenote's going to have to do something for him. But if he does it, then he'll take care of his family. If he doesn't, I'll cripple him, brother. So Cenote obviously gets the noose, hangs himself. I thought this was a brilliant story arc, to be honest, especially first time round watching it. Yeah, and then yeah, we get the whole towards the finale of the season. Basically, the USB is rendered useless. Reynolds steps down. Bellic is then going after Sucre. He manages to get him, but then Sucre says that Teabag is in Mexico, so why don't we go after him? But Teabag managed to elude them. But Teabag then gets arrested, and then we get the whole Panama side of things, where a lot of shit goes down here. Teabag's essentially working for the company, basically lures Bellic, Sucre, and Michael into the house, but obviously Lincoln told Michael just to leave Teabag alone, but no, we can't do that. Bellic gets shot, he gets arrested with the murder charge of those women that were in the house that obviously Teabag murdered. And then yeah, Teabag stabs Sucre, he's bleeding out, he's screaming, where's Monte Cruz? Bellic's like, I'll tell you, but you gotta get me out of here. And then yeah, Michael leaves Teabag for the cops. And then we get the whole finale. Mahone basically eludes Lincoln after Lincoln had the gun on him. He then sets him up with Kevin. There's a few people shot here. Mahone manages to escape, gets shafted with the drugs on the boat Michael set up. But then Mahone, basically getting Kim there, shafts Michael. He gets done for his murder. Sarah and Lincoln manage to escape. But Michael, Mahone, Bellic, Teabag, they're all ending up in Cenote, big man. And it's such a great dynamic. Like, season 3, there's a lot of stuff I didn't really like about it. But at the end of the day, I really did like the dynamic of all those guys. Being in there, if I'm honest. But yeah, that is your season 2 finale. Or no, your season 2 review. So action packed. I mean, that's what I love about Prison Break. Like, even when it's not like good and some of it doesn't, it's like you don't get a minute to breathe. And I feel like if a TV show like has lost its way, but like in season 4 it does lose its way, but it's still like action packed, edge of your seat stuff. And I feel like even if a show does have that, it can still do a lot towards the end, guys. But I believe I gave season 1 a 10. I'm going to give season 2 a 9. It's not quite a 10. There is some stuff it does a lot better than season 1. Like, it's not confined. It's not confined to the prison. I love the whole gimmick of it being over America, but there is a few things it could have and should have did better. But until next time, peace.